Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are. Welcome back to another episode of ATF with myself, Bobby K, and of course the legend, the sexy Scandinavian over there, Kuv and 99. How you doing, Kuvs?
I'm good. It's just us as the way it should be.
The way it should be, buddy. No other people to interrupt us. Like this
That's right.
morning, where we were surrounded by our adoring fans on Kate's show. It was nice. It was nice to spend the time with the little people
Oh, I,
sometimes. But
I
then,
think so.
we,
I
we
think
need to
so.
hang out together
Speak
sometimes,
speak with
right?
the
So
riff raff sometimes. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. We got to get right down to the gutter level sometimes.
That's
Oh
right.
wait, that's not a good thing. Is it? Not too
Uh,
late now. It's been said.
we'll do what we want.
We do, yes, just the way it is. But started off with the member chatting here already. So Big Ben in the house already. Been 4 months already. Big up, Ben. Appreciate that. He's saying Kuva, True, and Bobby. So quite a few things to talk about. We just found a few interesting things in the news there as well that we'll bring up. And Jim's already in the house with his members, also a 4-month member. Big up, bad boy Bobby and cheeky Kuva Bear. Cheers, Jimbo. Good to see you, mate. Should we say hi to everybody first, or where do we want to kick
Yeah,
off?
let's do that.
Let's say hi. Yeah, well, Stuart was first in the chat, so big up to you, Stuart. Nice to see you.
Big up, Stuart.
Andrew Gregory is in the house as well, always supporting Andrew Gregory. Big up, mate.
Hi, Leo.
Well, I thought we were going to do it together.
Oh,
Hi, Leo.
so I'm just ad-libbing now. Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo. Really?
Do you really need to be synchronized for this one?
Yeah, because like
okay, come on, let's do it then.
We're cheesy like that, buddy.
After three.
Okay.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo.
And look at that. Jose's in the house already. Big up, mate. Good to see you. I'm getting a bit pissed off with YouTube because I never get to catch his show. I never catch Jacob's show. I don't get notifications. It's so annoying. I never get to watch his shows live, and it's frustrating because he always supports us. Ben's we already said hi to, and Jose, big up, everybody. Cheers, mate. Good to see you again. Hello again, and Kate's in the house as well. So, oh shoot, it was Kate's. Oops.
Yeah, but nonetheless, hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim. Oh, thanks, Kate. Just a girl. Who's Jim B? Who's Jim B from Mill?
It's Jim's assistant.
Oh, it's okay. It's that little lady who keeps on the side. Yeah. The one that helps him up and down the stairs, mostly down.
That's right.
There he is. You say his name and he appears just like Candyman. Somebody's been hanging out with their friends on the terrace. Ooh. Oh, we definitely got to make that. That's the next one I've got to get made. So we were going to start off here. We start with this one and put that up there. We'll do this whole thing where we actually talk about football, and we start there. And just getting a whole bunch of unnecessary criticism. We've spoken about this. Other people on other channels have already addressed this as well. I know you and I, Kuva, in terms of this, are pretty synchronized. I think it's absolutely horseshit. The fact that he gets any criticism this year, especially, I think it would be completely unwarranted unless he had came in here and lost every single game, and basically we fell apart even worse, way off the end. We're battling relegation. That might be a discussion. But to be sitting in 5th place after losing our captain, losing our greatest player, arguably ever, top goal scorer ever, do you think there's any way that this could be justified with where we sit currently?
I think the only way you can justify it is if right at the very start you were against it, in which case everything through the season. Point of reference, Scott M. He didn't want Ange to start with, called him out right at the beginning, stuck with it. I can't argue with that because I can't prove him wrong till Ange has had time to do what he needs to do at the club. I think with the majority of people, though, it is unfair because so many of us agreed at the start of the season there were very low expectations. People saying, to finish 8th, 9th, 10th.
Yeah.
Some people thought just avoid relegation would be all right. It was that bad. That's the state the club was in. So I think to be in 5th at the moment is quite an achievement, although ultimately that's not enough by itself. But Ange makes a point of saying that. The top 4 is not enough for him. He wants to build a culture of winning at this club, not just one-off trophies. So yeah, I think we're here for the long term, and I know a lot of us buying into it, but some aren't clearly.
It's funny you say that the top four is not enough for him, because he was actually attacked and criticized for those comments as well. Big up to Jim. Sorry, just quickly here for the 4-month membership chat there. For me, from the very beginning, I've been saying 8th. That's what the general expectation was before everything started, and that's where I was kind of setting myself up to be, mentally preparing myself. Okay, this is going to be a very bad roller coaster of a season. Games like Fulham last week are going to happen. Games like Villa the week before are going to happen. We've got to take the Villa game, and we've got to take the Fulham game. Ben made a great Ben Kaufman, who's on screen right now with this comment, made a great point earlier about, had this Fulham game come earlier, maybe before we started seeing good things, it wouldn't have been as hard of a hit. Do you agree with that? Or
yeah, without doubt. It's Spurs. We are the roller coaster club, always have been. So if we get a high moment like winning 4-0 away, next game is if it's anything other than a follow-up win, it's doom and gloom. It's the end of the world again. But fans will get over it. I think it's just there's a combination of things been happening in recent days, and it's all added up to this. Like Ben said, it's a bad feeling at the club. Mostly stems from what other people are doing. It's nothing to do with Ange, that part. But yeah, I've said it from the start. Same as you. Anything around 8th, 9th was kind of what we were expecting.
Yeah,
we were in about. Oh God, sorry, that probably Alex again. I'll just turn my phone off a sec. Carry on, mate.
It's all good. So no, like we were saying, there is a lot of unnecessary criticism, and as far as we're concerned over here, it is unnecessary. Ange has been given an opportunity to do something great with the club. All of us were on board singing his praises, lining the streets with confetti because of the way the season started. The first 10 games of the season, we were all absolutely loving this guy, and a couple of bad results, and all of a sudden, that's it. We've got the pitchforks out. We're rallying the troops and bringing a lynch mob out after this guy. I think it's vile. I think it's absolutely disgusting. The fans would turn so quickly on someone, yet not appreciate what he's already accomplished, which is more than what was expected. It's frustrating to see too, because it kind of divides the fan base, which is kind of what's been happening over the last few years. There's been a massive divide in the fan base. We've got our own YouTube community here, people fighting with each other because of difference in opinions, and it's too much. It's when are we going to finally agree to look forward and try
there's only one way. Only one thing is going to unify this fan base as we start winning things. Yeah, trophies. That's the only thing that will do it.
But then the anger comes down to the board.
Nobody can argue against the trophy. It's not a sort of opinion. It's not it's there. It's factual. It's evidence that he's done something right. So at the end of the day, it's a question of, do you believe we're going in the right direction or not? If you do, shouldn't be overreacting. If you don't believe we're going in the right direction, then sure, you overreact. Well, it won't be overreacting as far as you're concerned. You'll see all the negatives as being proof that you're right, and all the positives you won't be able to explain. Same goes the other way around. But sometimes you just need level heads, calm heads, realise where we are as a club at this moment in time. And people don't like being told it, but it is true. We are in another rebuild. It might be people saying, yeah, it's a 24-year rebuild. Yeah, they're right. We always seem to be in this state of flux, but that is where we are. This can't be instant success. We didn't go out and buy 18 players. Hi, Leo.
Yeah, if you're going to interrupt the show, you might as well do it live on screen. Yes?
I'm next school.
I know. I said you stay.
Oh, are we going to be back at 4-6?
No, you stay.
Okay.
Nice talking to you.
Love you, man.
Okay, bye-bye now.
Have fun with your trip. Close the door.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, bye-bye. No, I'm fine. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Let me take my Powerade then.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Have you still not got that snake pit for them to play with?
No, you know what it is? I put a trap door in here with an alligator at the bottom, but they started playing with that, and Teddy goes down there to play with them now, so the alligator's all friendly. You should have gone with the damn shark. Speaking of overreaction here, we got this nice comment from our dear friend Leo. If we lose again, I'm removing my tattoos and never watching Spurs again. I think there's going to be a laser surgeon out there that's going to be really happy to see Leo show up with the amount of ink that he's got on him. So, then he followed up with this, but we're not going to bring that up. We're just going to stick to this one. So, yeah, Jason Bell's in the house. Big up, mate. Big up. I was expecting to win the league and go to open the top bus parade. Yeah, you know what, though, Jim? Why did you have that feeling? And I know you're not joking. You actually legitimately felt like this at the beginning of the season. Kuva felt like this near the beginning of the season. I felt like this at the beginning of the season. We were so overhyped and happy that this could possibly happen. Why is all of a sudden clouded in doubt now? This man with this team that he's got right now went on that run, had us at the top of the food chain. Okay, the argument could be maybe we've been figured out, this and that, systems, injuries. There's 100 excuses that can be thrown at it. But the end of the day, the facts are he had us at the top of the food chain. We were looking fantastic. We were playing good football. Everything we wanted as Spurs fans was gifted and given to us. And a couple of bad games, and all of a sudden we're sitting in fifth, and the wheels have fallen off, and Ange out nonsense. He's not the right guy for the job. He's not big enough. We haven't surrounded him with the right players. We went out. We got the likes of Vicario. We got the likes of Madison. I don't even need to repeat VDV because we all know he's just the greatest thing since sliced bread. We've gone and got players in that have made a difference and improved our squad. I know Kate was saying that the biggest jump for her is Vicario over Lloris. To me, it's VDV over Dyer. That's what an upgrade, you know.
That's way beyond chalk and cheese, isn't it?
I like cheese. Hey, Spurs CCTV, big up me.
That's like weighing the worth of a single pebble to the planet Jupiter.
Oh, is that not comparable? Oh, sorry.
No, that's close as it gets. Yeah, I think it is that start that sort of clouded everything for everybody. Because let's face it, as we just said a few minutes ago, most of us were expecting an 8th, 9th place finish. So very low expectations. The fact we were up at the top of the table, that was incredible. How much of a boost is that? You're performing way above your expectations. But then, of course, the bar did suddenly raise then. And everybody seemed to forget that this is a team that was nowhere near that kind of level, sustaining it. We knew this. We agreed on it. We said the squad wasn't good enough. Yep. A lot of us were even saying the transfer window wasn't enough to really push on. So we needed to see more of it. Ange himself said he needed several transfer windows before he can get this squad to where he wants it to be. So nothing's changed for me. A few bad results was expected. The only thing that's changed is fans' expectations. And I think it's harsh, some of the judgment. Sure, the football's been actually quite difficult to watch at times. But unlike when, say, Conte was in charge and things were going wrong, I saw shambolic performances. But I didn't even understand what we were trying to do. At least with Ange, I'm understanding what we're trying to do. We just did it badly. So I can see like we've got a sort of shape. There's a way forward for us. It's just it's how much faith you got in the team at the moment. This season, as you said, you could almost I don't think it's unfair to say it's a free hit this season because we are looking to instill a way of playing that doesn't happen overnight. And if we're going to keep dropping everybody the moment they have a bad game or changing the style of play, then we don't learn it. And next season it'll be going from scratch yet again.
But this is the thing, Kuv. We've screamed that we want a foundational system here, and now we've achieved that. Like yourself, you were saying, look at the Ajax system, the way they have the youth system playing all the way up into the upper ranks. Now it seems like we're starting to instill these systems and stuff. Yes, it's been a long time. Yes, it's been 23, 24 years of pain. Yes, we haven't had trophies and stuff. Is it finally going to happen? We don't know. Paddy, our dear friend here, is actually... I don't know if he's in a good mood or if this is not Paddy, but his first comments coming to the chat, it's not slating me. So hopefully, Paddy, I hope you're okay, mate. He's just basically saying Ange needs to be given time. Spurs fans need to start to see. So everything we just basically said, massive summer ahead, right? And Jim was just saying hi to Chris here.
Paddy did also say that you're a gimp as well, didn't he? So
that's true, but he hasn't said anything bad yet today. So Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, 3 comments later. Okay, fair enough. Okay, nice. That's the Patty I know. Okay. Ben, who we know is very vocal and demands a lot, and like he says, as a paying customer, I have the right to ask for a certain amount of quality when I'm paying the highest. So it's like somebody that's going out and buying a Ferrari for £200,000 is not expecting to drive like a $20,000 Volvo or £40,000 Volvo. It's got to be significantly better. I can agree with Ben's point as well. You sit here and you're paying out the amount of money that you pay out, the amount of money you have to pay out for food and drink, beverages, and all the other amenities that are included in there. Then you expect a certain amount of quality for that. So there is that argument from those side of the fans that I can appreciate that too. But for right now, the current situation, I personally think that we have to just, as bad as it sounds, trust the process and be a little patient. And that being said, I'll bring this up to add into the conversation. Did you know that Ange is on £5 million a year, while Arteta is on £9.5 million a year? So it's almost double for Lego Head down the road there. I personally don't think he's twice as good as Ange when you're going to do the comparison just by numbers here, because that's what that would say to me. If something is worth this much, this is worth double. Well, this should be twice as good. That's my basic math. What do you think about that, man?
It's relative to each team, isn't it? With Ange, we can't really say what his worth is yet because he hasn't been here long enough to achieve anything. So fledgling thing for Ange. Arteta, I think he'll be worth that money if he wins them the league. That's it. If he doesn't, then that suddenly looks like a very inflated wage for somebody that's still failing to get them over the line. And let's face it, they can talk about their FA Cup win, which fair enough, they did get it in his first season, but that's not what they're after. Is it? They want that league title. Right? Yeah, they want that league title. Let's not get away from that point. So if they fail, especially this season, after spending that mega bucks on Declan Rice, it turns out to be quite a disappointing season for them. And yeah, of course, then questions start being asked: how long can he do it? Then he becomes a nearly manager. We've seen a few of those. We've had our own with Pochettino. And then the questions get asked: can they push on and get that extra bit over the line? Which is what good clubs do. Remember when Liverpool got close to winning the title, didn't happen. Sell off Coutinho, buy in Van Dijk and Alisson, win the title. That's the kind of thing you've got to end up doing. I'll say
we've kind of done part of it, haven't we? Got rid of Kane now, so it's now splashing it out and getting the right tools in now to.
Well, we didn't really replace Kane though, did we?
Semi. We can't replace Kane. That's the difference, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to say Richarlison's a replacement for Kane. So
but we already had him before Kane was here. I'm going to look at the players we got in after
levels, Kane. Isn't it? We've certainly strengthened in other positions which needed doing. The defense, our first choice defense is good. Our goalkeeper's good.
Yes,
we got Maddison and Sonny in the team still, and then there's a little bit of Sar's having a good season, but then there's a few where you've got a little bit of a question mark over them. Either loss of form or perhaps they're just not going to recover from a long-term injury. You can't tell yet. Long way to go. We are. That's why you can't get away from the fact that we are still building, because you can't say this is a finished product. Nobody.
No, that'd be mad. No, that'd be absolutely insane. Especially like you just said, we've got a lot of dead wood still to clear out. Speaking of one dead wood, we are going to bring up one of them later in a bit. That I really enjoyed what you had to say about earlier in the day. So there is this comment here from Daniel Lee, who's always supportive. What? Sorry, these kids have a feeling that it's okay to come and just chat to me.
Yeah, never mind. That trap door's getting built. I can tell. Anyway, Daniel, I'm not about criticising Ange, but don't you think it's right to ask why a manager of 25 years' experience don't make a sub at half time in that Fulham game? I do have a theory on that. Well, for me personally, I think he's learning about the players. He's having the half-time team talk and then saying go out and put things right, and then seeing if they can do it. Because he's got to learn about the character of all the players in his squad to build up for the summer transfer window. Because at the end of the season, he's going to have a definitive list of who he wants to keep and who he doesn't. And he isn't going to know everything about these players without playing them. So sometimes you're just going to have to grit your teeth and put up with some choices that you don't like the look of.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense, Kuva. Thank you for saying that, because that does make sense, because you want to see who now is going to come into a pressure situation with their back against the wall and come out fighting. So that's a fair analogy to look at it that way. Actually, I didn't even think about that. So thank you for saying that. Fitzy's here. Big up, Fitzy. Nice to see you. Been a while. For me, I think some of our players are far overrated by the fan base. Player has 2 good games. Now he's the best in the league. Madness. We're reactionary, though. Wouldn't you say, Cooves? I would say Spurs fans are one of the most reactionary.
Massively. Yeah.
It's
I love it, but it's bad at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Our heart rate's much like, the amount of heart surgeons that are making tons of money off Spurs fans in the world is probably just astronomical. But that's part of it, right? He's not wrong. I can't disagree with really what he's saying, because I'm one of the ones that jumps on the Johnson wagon.
Big up to John as well. I know he's been a really long-term suffering fan. He's really been through it. I remember many conversations with him on different channels where we're going through the comments section and agreeing this is terrible. It's heartbreaking sort of stuff. He's hit a low point with the club, so I think he's just looking for the same sort of thing. I am just get us playing some football and look like we're going to win stuff. But winning the trophies isn't for granted, but you've got to at least put yourself in the running for it, and we just don't, do we?
Doesn't look like it, or we just get to that point where, like you said, we bang on the door enough to satisfy the fan base, enough to line the coffers, and say, okay, we'll just do it again next year. Paddy's chiming in with saying that Arteta has 5 years, spent $1 billion. Ange has been here a wet week in terms of football. So that's why I think it's absolutely insane that this guy, especially after that brilliant statement you just made, that he gets any kind of criticism now. I kind of read Daniel Lee's point, and I was half agreeing with him until you made your point. So Daniel Lee, love you to bits, buddy, but I'm 100% on Kuva's side here. I think if he's doing that, that just shows that this guy actually does really know what he's doing.
I think
have to back him.
I think it's fair to get some criticism, because
obviously, but for him out to rake him across the coals,
there's too much, isn't it?
That's too much.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. He's same as any other manager. He is going to make some mistakes, but that's part of the learning process. He's got to find out with these players. So I think like with the substitutions, how many times have we also seen this season where he keeps the players on the pitch, and then suddenly in the last 10 minutes they suddenly get into their stride and hit a few goals and win a game?
Yeah,
and and that's before substitution.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the subs were on by that point, but it did make a difference, and then he gets to see, kind of like you said. I really, really like what you said there, Cooves. That makes a lot of sense in terms of why he's wait and see kind of thing, and who's got fighting him. Which dog here is going to show up for it?
It's like one of the other things he gets criticised for, being very stationary at the edge of the pitch, like Nuno was. Arms folded. I think
I like that calmness to him, though.
People want to see arms being waved around and having a tantrum like Conte would, sort of thing, and say, "Oh, that's the passion and everything." But I think with Ange, it's more. I'll just look at him and I'll think he's weighing up who's doing the job properly, who isn't. He's in deep thought about what's going on there, because he's got to make the big decisions on which of these players is going to be staying at the end of the season. But
it's also Cooves. I remember we go back to that Arsenal game at the beginning of the season there, and where everything was falling apart. We had the own goal and everything, and we watching it on the television are going crazy on our sofas, and he's just standing there, cool as a cucumber, hands in his pocket, just like, it's all good, we'll be fine, we got this. I kind of like that, because to me that calmness instills confidence too. And if he's going to bring up younger players and push through the youth ranks, then these kids are going to need somebody to put their arm around them and say, look, you can do it. You can do the job. I have faith in you, kind of thing. And it's a sad reality. We want to sit here and say, they're professional footballers. Their paycheck is their confidence boost. That's all they need and everything. But no, at the end of the day, they're children.
Look at it from the other way around. Look at it from the other point of view. When
I hope he does.
When Wenger was still there, we won at the Emirates. Do you remember the incident where he picked up the water bottles and he's throwing them at the ground, having a tantrum?
Yeah.
Does that make him a good manager?
Exactly. That's Patty. God. Well, you know what? Get off your ass and come take care of him, okay? Because one's
Yeah.
saying he's got a birthday party to go to. The other one's like, well, I'm going to study. And this is, well, then go study. Why are you here talking to me?
I can't. I'm thousands of miles away.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't paid child
Lame-
support. I haven't sent
lame
the thing.
excuse.
I sent €5 super chat. And they said it was pounds and gave me more credit than deserved. So I got mad. Angry little leprechauns, man. Jason Bell, Bob, do you think the kids think they're proud of the channel or something? No kidding, Jason. No kidding. Daniel's back. I get like this. First season there's to learn from the mistakes. He just has. Fair enough, Daniel. You know what? And I'm honestly, buddy, I really hope that a year from now we're all holding hands, singing "Kumbaya" and praising Ange, and we've all got a poster up of him up on the wall, and the Spurs flags are flying high, and we're onto something. Because, like a lot of you, I've been a fan since '92, and it's painful what we've had to go through and endure. And what makes me sick is something that we brought up on the last time we did ATF, is that we are now at the 4-year anniversary of the stadium opening. The stadium that apparently, once it's open, is going to give us the opportunity to compete with all the big boys. Yet, we are not there. Coops, is there something going on upstairs?
No, I was just something I was going to look up, and then I brought up the page, and the music came on. I thought, I'll just close it.
Better not.
Hey, big up ends in hub, though, obviously.
Oh, bring it up then. Let me share the screen.
I'm bringing it up. That's the problem.
Hey, well, I dropped my tissue box. You better turn it off. Amir's in the house. Big up, Amir. Hope you're safe, brother. Hope you and your family, everybody's all right, man. What is your thoughts on the silly redesign of the England flag on the new kit? I haven't seen it, Ben. Have you?
For the national team, presumably.
I'm assuming.
I don't know. I don't even look.
Ben, you want to shoot it over to me, buddy, or and then
I have absolutely zero interest in international football. Zero.
Fair enough. Yeah, there's a lot of nonsense going on Twitter about some post or something like that too. This whole stand for Britain or fight for Britain thing is going on. But anyways, that's not something we talk about on this channel. But question, in the Prem, who do you think is perfect fit for Ange's system? Ooh. Wow, that's a good one. What do you think, Coobs? Who would you like to poach there that you think would really give us that boost, that next level that we crave so badly? Anybody, no budget. But in the Prem.
You know what? I'll probably take Declan Rice, you know.
It's not a bad shout.
We need somebody with that kind of level-headed.
Proper number 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was fantastic for West Ham. We all know that. And it hates me and it pains me to see that he's actually doing a lot better even with Arsenal. It seems like he's elevated his game, which is great for the national team as well. But just to see him do it in that horrible red shirt is painful.
Yeah, otherwise you just look at Man City straight off, don't you? Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, any of those. Brilliant.
I'd take Holland, actually, personally. I just want that a proper striker in there that we know will finish every time.
I kind of don't want him, which is a bit weird because statistically you'd say, yeah, of course you'd have him, but I'd prefer to have a Harry Kane back.
No, but in the Prem though, what other strikers there do you think that would fit Ange's system? But then we would need people that can put the ball into the box.
I actually like the look of Evan Ferguson at Brighton. I think,
fair enough, yeah.
He's big, strong, good in the air, can use both feet, good finish.
18, 19?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's one for the future. Well, he's one for the present as well. I'd play him straight away if we had him. Yeah, that he'd certainly fit. But otherwise, you just need players that are technically good, really good, able to pass the ball around, move, bit of pace about them would be good too. So there's quite a few that fit the bill. But I mean, I'm fixing midfield. It's too late to get him now. But I mean. Gross at Brighton, what a player he is. It'd be a nice calming influence in the team as well. Good passer of the ball.
Oh, Pascal,
I think we've absolutely. That's a bit
Sorry,
weird,
this
isn't
is Ben was kind enough to send this over to us, so I don't even know what that's supposed to be. At first, from far glance, I thought maybe it was some sort of representation of the rainbow flag or something. I don't know what this is. It's dark blue, light blue, purple, and then dark red, and is that a light red or an orange?
I
don't even know what it's supposed to represent or what it's about. So to answer your question, Ben, it looks stupid. Where were we here? Sorry, we really fell behind here. Van, Jim, hello. I'm not criticizing and okay, yeah. So we passed that one. We talked Fitzy, Jason Bell. Where the heck are we? Oh, Steve D's here. Hey, big up, Steve D. How are you, man? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, we got this one already. I get that. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay, yeah, this is where we were. So, and then we brought up the question. Okay, not wanting to give away my age, but most used to live next door. Before we went on this journey to part the Red Sea. I have seen us lift the FA Cup European Championships from previous, so I think we're now back in the running. So for somebody that's got an old history like that and recalls the great days and lived them, to finally have faith again now after such a long, dark period in between, for me, it's kind of hopeful.
Yeah, I think hope is the word, isn't it? That's the one that always kills you. But yeah, there was certain signs, like I was saying it earlier today as well, certain signs last summer that we are actually trying to change things in the way things are done, lifting the wage cap on the academy players so we can bring in top quality talent from abroad to go into that academy and try and build something there. Get that sort of, just bring the levels up from grassroots upwards. And getting them to all play the same way as the first team's a huge thing for me. They should be, any player that comes up from the academy in the next few years should know exactly their role, how to play it. They should know multiple roles. In fact, if it was done my way, that's like the Ajax way, total football. All players know several positions and what's expected in each position, so it's easy transition to the first team. You're going to get some that misfire, but you're in a much healthier spot when you can bring through your own talent. Certainly, City is certainly doing it. They won't be alone. Liverpool, again, another club doing that brilliantly. Their youngsters, when they do come through, they fit in seamlessly. They look good straight away.
Yeah.
We haven't really done that over the years. We've really squandered any talent we do have, and I'd have to say, I think we overrate them as well.
How can our youngsters come in and fit into a system when it seems like our senior squad doesn't know what the systems are because they consistently keep changing?
Yeah, true. Consistency. That's the key, isn't it? Get a manager that you think offers you what you want. Back him and do it consistently, season after season, and get the whole club behind them. Unified approach to it all. We chop and change so many times; it's ridiculous.
It is frustrating, but that is part of it. Right now, we got a question here from Swimmaster. Big up, Anthony. Good to see you, mate. He's saying, was our display against Fulham due to a lot of our players had one eye on the internationals and simply didn't play fully, not tempting injuries? So basically, do you think that they were looking towards this little break and pulled up a little bit? I personally just think Fulham showed up and we didn't. They executed their game plan. They knew what ours was, and Silva just kind of had our number that day. We're beaten everywhere, on every aspect. It's on every side of the pitch. Even going forward, they had to shut down the midfield they own. They're tearing us up on the wings. That inverted wing-back system did not work on this day. But what are your thoughts on that, Coops?
It's a little bit of Fulham being great on the day, which they were. But then again, even their passing wasn't fantastic. We were forcing them into a lot of errors as well. But in the key areas, they were doing it. That being the first to the ball, second to the ball as well. They seemed to want it more than we did. That was disappointing. Second part was the passing. They pressed us pretty well. We were not pressing them very well. So when they made errors, it was kind of unforced. When we made errors, we kind of hounded into it and then rushed the passing.
Luke.
The passing and the movement was absolutely shocking. One of some of the worst I've seen so far. I think it was our worst performance of the season.
I know somebody also brought up the whole fasting thing as well, right, with Ramadan. So they believe Basuma and Sar, but I didn't think Sar looked that poor.
Nah, if their players have done this before,
they've done this before. They've done it their whole lives. They've been raised with it. People I know that are fasting through Ramadan.
It's not hardly like they're crawling out onto the pitch like they're going through the desert for 3 weeks, is it? It's, they were okay to do it. They would have taken plenty of medical advice and talked to the medical team. Oh God, perhaps that's the problem.
That is the problem. That's exactly what went wrong there, Goose. It's the medical team. We found your answer, Anthony. We found your answer.
Overall, though, I think the biggest problem we had, it wasn't a tactical one, and it was lack of talent from some players, lack of composure from others, and just absolutely ridiculously slopping passing display that put all the pressure on us constantly. So when we play a high risk, high reward game with playing the high line, but if you're going to give the ball away that cheaply, that often, and then you don't press the opposition as well, you will see what we got, which was wave after wave of the opposition attacking, and usually it's with us committing several players forward as they attack. So we were setting ourselves up for the counter by being so bad with the ball. If you're going to do that, it doesn't matter what system you play, you're going to get beaten. And sure enough, even playing that badly, we created enough chances to get something out of the game. But we couldn't finish anything either. No. It was just everything we did was awful.
Everything was off.
The only players I thought stood out were ones having a sort of fairly average kind of game, but they didn't lose their heads. I thought Romero was okay. I actually think Dragushin did okay. It was just.
I'm glad you said that. I thought he did okay. I went back and I watched the highlights. I'm like, this kid got so much hate.
Yeah,
like right away, people on the Facebook and the Tottenham groups. I never want to see him in my jersey again. He should never play for Spurs again. This now. The guy just finally came on for his first time.
Yeah, he was really unfortunate because
he's been thrown into the fire.
For me, I could see this is probably the reason why a lot of the players don't get straight into the team with managers, because they're not sure that they've established that sort of understanding with their teammates. And you can see it a couple of times in that game, with the doggy in particular, where they both sort of hesitate. It's like, should I be going for this? Should you? And it caused a problem.
The communication error,
yeah. So,
well, that synchronization is not there, right?
Yeah. It will come better in time. No problem.
I love this comment here from Ben, because as everybody knows, Ben with us, we have a nice little trio. We communicate on a regular basis. We all go on shows together and stuff. Quite a bonded, weird brotherhood that we have here. He's an ultra pessimist. I'm at the point where I have to see it and feel it to believe it. I appreciate that. Cannot see us winning a trophy by the time 40. Kuvs, this is just a personal conversation between us. If you will recall the other day in our group chat, Ben's comment was he would not see us winning a trophy before he turned 45. The other day, I believe it was in Kate's chat, he said he didn't believe he would see us winning a trophy before he was 50. So he went from 50 to 45. He's down to 40 on our show. At the rate he's going, we should be able to win a trophy by the time he's 30.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair.
There we go.
Fair.
Sorted, Ben. You'll
be right. Ben, you're good. Stay pessimistic, buddy. It's working. It's working. It's working. Daniel Sandoval's here. Big up. Cardinal, right? Yes. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Ellie's in the house. Hi, Ellie. And hi, Evangelo. Hope you're feeling better. Steve D. Basuma's on Ramadan for 3 months. Yeah. You know what? To be fair, though, we talk about other people's health issues and whatnot and everything. This guy's had a rough run, too, since pretty much last year with the malaria.
What do you think? What do you think with the there's a lot of topics of conversation revolving around, do we play Højbjerg instead of him now? And I'm not. I just don't agree with doing that. I think if Højbjerg is going to be off at the end of the season, I would prefer to see us persevere with Basuma and try and get him to get the form back, rather than play a player that we know is going to go. That's not building for the future for me. That's just stopping filling a hole for the temporary thing. Yeah. Bissouma's it's difficult because he started that season so
well.
Yeah.
He
We're pointing
shades of Dembele.
Yeah, we were talking about, we were laughing at Declan Rice and saying, we got the real deal here. He was that good. Talking about contender for player of the season already. Well, of course we got carried away, but he was that good.
Well, that was the earlier comment that was made, right? Where we jump on the bandwagon as soon as a player has 2 good games in a row. So, such is life. I like this comment from Dragon D's Nuts. Good to see him, mate. He should have played in his natural position. Romero should have been on the left. Romero's a more experienced player. I think that would have been a good shout. Maybe just have him play in his more natural position. But it's in the past now. So Spurs GCTV, there are basically 2 types of football: either defend with the team in the box and get lucky on the break, or press forward, attack, and make your own luck. Downside is and if the other team gets it right, which seems what was the fallback there at Fulham.
The only way you can avoid being counter-attacked is if you don't attack.
Yeah, fair enough. Just sit back and relax. Yeah, sit on the bench, stay there. Ian Ferguson's in the house. He's upset that we're actually talking about football. Sorry, we
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, Ian.
Yeah,
sorry, Ian. But congratulations on the engagement for the 13th time. All this negative shit, we can still win the title. Hell yeah, Jim. Get in there, buddy.
Damn right.
Silly and Kenny's in here. Big up, Silly. Good to see you. Hey, Uncle's home chilling, still on the soda. Nice. On the sofa, on the soda, or having a soda on the sofa? Don't know. Mark Cook is in the house. Big up, man. Good to see you. Jim, they're just all having a conversation. Jason, I totally agree. Play the guys. You know what, Jason? Yeah, it's the only way. Are we going to keep doing this Band-Aid solution thing that we've seen for years not work? I honestly, Coops, I love what you said earlier. I absolutely love what you said earlier, but the fact that he's just sitting there watching.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I know, but I normally love everything you said. But I'm really I'm like, that's just material for later, man.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
The football thing.
All right.
Yeah. That's like, that's beyond Jizzy the gerbil kind of stuff, man. That's some good stuff there. What the hell did I miss here in the chat? I was just okay. I don't know. We got an interesting conversation to have with Ben when the show's done. There's something going on between him and Kate, or he's trying to steal Jim from Kate. Audio's here. Hey, big up, mate. Good to see you. She has me drinking chai now. Nice. Soon you'll be making samosas and chapatis and rotis at home, buddy. Your training will be done. We did have another banner to go through. Here was the next one we were going to talk about. A report just came out.
You were going to make a point about something I said earlier, but then you didn't make it. I
probably forgot now. I'm probably thinking about how much I don't like these kids coming in this room. You know my memory, Kuva. There's no short-term memory here left. What was I talking about?
Kuva, I'm Dave.
Dave? I thought it was Steve. It's not Steve?
No. It's not that bad yet.
These Caucasianly challenged names are hard for me.
We all look the same, mate.
That is true. Yeah, especially with all the beards and the brown skin.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh wait, never mind. That's us. Hey, we're on ATF.
You were watching.
Hey, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. It's Thursday, not Saturday. Behave.
Okay.
Behave. See, you always bring me down a back. Man. Okay, I forgot the point we were going to make earlier, so we'll go on to the next one. Report came out. Chelsea need to sell at least over £100 million worth of player. The numbers are apparently close to £110 million worth of players to avoid FFP penalty for this year. The number that was tweeted was for the 110. It was Chalaba was 20 million, 40 million for Broja, and 50 for Gallagher. That equates to the 110 million that this journalist was writing. I cannot remember who the hell it was now.
Do you know what I think should happen? All the other clubs have a meeting and decide not to buy anybody from them and just watch them get expelled from the league. That'd be nice.
Could you imagine how freaking awesome would that be?
really go for it.
Oh my God.
Conor Gallagher, here's $1 million for him.
No, seriously, Coop. Could you imagine the conspiracy that could be put together behind that? You have these ultra richies getting together to form their super league. So why can't the peasants get together and say we're not going to?
That's not even conspiracy, though, is it? That would just be having a meeting, and if you're going to agree not to buy somebody's players, you can do that. I don't see any rules against that.
Offer him 5 million for Gallagher, and that's it. No more.
No, 1 million. It's just enough to be 7 figures, but no more.
Have them sell 110 players. They've got them. Jim Alexis. Oh, the Jays 194. Nice. I think it's spring training though. That's the Toronto baseball team. Don't threaten me with a good time. Sorry, mate. Sorry, buddy. Steve D's. Go deep in a couple of natural progression. Yeah, that's all we can hope for right now. Just natural progression. Progression being the key word. Yeah, no kidding, Steve. Chelsea will raise that easily out of the 98 players that they've got. They'll sell to their Saudi mates. Yeah, that's a whole thing. Bowley's got ties over to one of the Saudi clubs, doesn't he?
Right. Okay. Makes sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah, he does. Don't they have part ownership or something, or the board?
That's assuming some of the talented players with a lot of potential actually want to go over to play in the Saudi league, which they probably won't.
But Ronaldo's there.
No.
I don't think he's got the pull.
Maybe somebody like Sterling might, who's coming towards the end of the career and fancies a really big paycheck. But
yeah, because it's those guys that are coming to the end of the career. What are their options really? MLS over here in North America, or Saudi for 150 times the amount of money that you would get over here?
Difficult one, that, isn't it? If you're looking for one big last payday or something, then off you go. Saudi.
I know where I off to Saudi I go, because at the end of the day, this is a job, and I'm going to try to maximize the amount of money I get from my job. It's if
I didn't realize you were so mercenary.
It's that's why I've honestly, Kuvs, I've never faulted a player for turning around and saying I'm going to leave here for more money, because everybody knows I drive a bus. If a different company comes to me and says, we're going to let you do the exact same job you're doing, we're going to triple your salary, triple your time off, triple your benefits package, where do I sign?
I mean, it's
any normal human would have to be an idiot to not to.
It's not their fault that they get offered stupid amounts of money in the first place, and that then they get accustomed to that lifestyle. And who doesn't want to maintain your level of lifestyle? So yeah, it's a limited time career, isn't it? They've got to take what they can get out of it. I think a lot of players would be more desperate to stay as long as they can in the top leagues in Europe and win something though.
Well, the ones with that as a desire, basically, but it seems that football is more turning into a business around the world. As crazy it is. Ben's asking when's the next Kuv and The Kang. Sorry?
I'm trying to remember the Chelsea lad that went over way before his career was over. And I think he
Oscar.
might still be Oscar, that was him.
Oscar, he went to China. He was one of the first big ones, right? And he was only like 24 or 25, something like that. Never heard from him again, though. That's it. Yeah. Just never heard from him. I don't think he represented Brazil again after that either. I don't know about that, but
surely would he?
Ben's asking when he gets to take Mickey for a walk and shake a Dickie Forest. So that will be Easter weekend now, Ben. We're going to be Kuv and The Kang has been broken down to a show that's only going to be coming on during holidays. So the PIF has a small stake in Clear Lake. I don't know what that is. No salary restrictions in Saudi. Yeah, but it's interesting because there's that whole thing with Jordan Henderson. He went to Ajax because he didn't get paid, right? And there was some issue about how he didn't realize that you get paid at the end of the season or something like that, or it's twice
every
in a
3
season
months or something like that. Yeah, it was something strange, wasn't it?
They're promising allegedly. Yeah. Oh, Ben Zoxy, the next comment as we get to you get paid every 6 months. So there you go. Players went up to China recently as money was there. How's that collapse? I think so. So it's crazy. It's I don't think it's gone well. Chelsea probably got 110 million in loans fee. They got so many. Yeah, no kidding. Stuart, you heard MLS. You know what, Stuart? I'm about to ban your ass. I've already warned you. Next time I see you, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm not kick your ass. Kick you in the back of the knee so you fall on your ass. Toronto FC is a Canadian team here down the road from me in Canada. Wait, I can't point to the Canadian flag because I don't have it up. That's where it was. Right there, normally, Stuart. Oh, perfect. Mickey is staying with him on Easter weekend. We will definitely be doing Kuv and The Kang. We'll go on to the next one here. This report also came out. Richie is claiming that seeking psychological help actually saved his life. Kuvs, you and I are big advocates in terms of making sure people have the right help when needed, especially me recently, obviously, with my personal issue now over the last 8 months or so. I have a new appreciation for mental health. I have a new appreciation for mental well-being, for being able to talk to people, for not bottling stuff up, for basically just not letting yourself rot from inside out. I think it's big when a player comes out and says something like this, to say it's okay. It sends a message to younger players. It also gives a support system kind of offering out there to other people to say, look, there is help out there for you. If you don't want to do it at a public forum, kind of the way Richie has kind of came out and said it, there is available outlets to you. Do we need more of this in the sport because of the pressure that's being put on these kids? We see how much racism the England team went through. Obviously, the players went through after the Euros. There's a lot of heat on these kids, especially with the growth of social media and the technology all around.
Yeah, absolutely. We know Brian Daigle as well. He's always been such a big advocate for men's mental health issues. Yeah, it can affect so many people, in so many different ways, and it's one of the worst injuries, if you like, you can have, because if you get a broken leg, you can get in a position where it's comfortable. Same with any limb, broken ribs, you can even find a place where it's comfortable. But if your mind is racing through bad thoughts constantly, you cannot shake that. Nope. It's very, very difficult to get distracted from it, let alone forget it altogether. And sometimes you need a bit of help with it. There's no manual to look at for, how to stop feeling that way. You sometimes you just need to put it in the hands of a professional, help you through it. And as you know, Bobby, it's one of these things that's always been the taboo subject for men in the past. Just sort of man up, get over it.
Exactly.
You can push that crap down and get on with your life. You're fine. Sometimes you're just not, and there's it can be a very long road back from it. Some people don't get over it, and I think it's been highlighted massively in recent years, particularly with the death of Gary Speed, who was had a really long footballing career, and really did well for himself, really respected in the whole sport, massive long career. Went into management, seemed to be doing really well there, seemed to be thriving with everything he did, and then all of a sudden he's committed suicide.
Yeah,
and it's like, wow, that can happen to him. What about people that don't seem to have that strength of character that he seemed to exude? It obviously wasn't there, and it's all about keeping it hidden from people, not seeking help when you need to. So I think people just need to get out there more when you know you're struggling. Find some help, because you've only got the one life, and if you're being ruled by some really terrible thoughts in your head, it destroys your life. It really does. It affects everything: your sleep patterns, your energy levels, your reactions to people, your temperament to people. You stop. You can go between bursting out in tears or really raging angry with people. There's like no control over anything. It's a really big deal. I think Rishi, I'm glad he came out saying that. I didn't realise I suppose most people probably didn't realise just how bad it was for him until he actually says that. Saved his life.
Saved his life. That's the thing. Yep, that's why I put that exactly, because it said it saved his life. So that kind of shows you how dark were his thoughts getting.
Yeah, it's not this trivial.
And then you put this. He came here, didn't do well, and I don't doubt that this guy's. We know he's on Twitter. He tweets and stuff like that. So on social media, we're ripping him apart, shredding him down to the ground for, again, an amount of money that we paid for him that he didn't ask. He didn't put his price tag on himself, but we've berated this man right down to the dirt of the earth. And then we got him to that point where he's got to say something like, it saved my life, which makes me question if he was suicidal or if he did have end-of-life thoughts, or even how was he acting with other people, kind of thing. Did he push everybody away from himself? Did he isolate himself? It's sad because what is he, 25, 26? He's a kid, in
Something
comparison.
like
He's not much older than our boys.
And I think you look at the way he celebrates when he scores a goal, how much joy there is on his face. He loves the celebrations and he loves all of that. So imagine how difficult it must be for him for 2 months without scoring a goal and fans turning on him. Everybody thinking he's a terrible player and one of the worst signings we ever had. Everything on him all day long. Can't turn anywhere without seeing more things, headlines about him being a flop and things like that. Yeah, of course it's going to affect him. It would affect anybody, unless you got absolutely cast iron, resolve over everything you do and total self-belief. Few people have that. So he got dragged down.
I thought I did.
Yeah,
I thought I did.
Yeah,
I thought I did. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I know this is supposed to be a football show, but no, I thought this will never happen to me. I'm strong. I'm mentally strong. I'm well. I'm surrounded by a loving family. I've got great friends like yourself. I have my virtual friends. I have my friends here around me. I'm surrounded by a lot of wonderful things. Very little to be upset and not thankful for. But I've been struck down. So, like you said, it can happen pretty much to anybody, because even believe it or not, it can happen to you. And like before this, I didn't believe in this stuff. I didn't. I was one of those.
For a lot of people, they're not even aware that it's happening to them, because it will be categorized under things like, "Oh, I'm suffering with stress." Stress is depression.
Yeah,
it's all depression if it's an emotion that isn't having a negative impact on you. That is a depression. So, a lot of people just push it down, ignore it, self-medicate in whatever way it is. Where you usually find people turning to some sort of addiction, whether it's gambling, drink, drugs, whatever it is. For myself, I went through, early 20s, same sort of thing. A bad incident that I'm not going to go into, but it just led me to go on this self-destructive path. I was just like, drink, drugs, whatever, throwing anything down my neck. I'm just going out trying to live like this party-like lifestyle. And at the time, I thought, oh, that's okay. I'm coping with it all. It's only when I look back at it, I realized I was completely lost at that point.
Yeah.
I really badly needed somebody to help me through it, and there wasn't anyone. Mostly because I'd turned them away. I didn't believe it.
Yeah, isolated.
Yeah, and it opened up my eyes later on when I was, still struggling with, being depressed. Or I just thought, this isn't right. I was just going to see somebody, and then as soon as I started talking it through, it all started making sense. It took a long time to get there, but I did in the end. I've some downs.
That's what matters, though.
He does, yeah.
But that's the thing, Coops. That's the point. Not everybody ever gets there in the end. It's like Spurs GCTV. Great comment here, asking for help as a sign of strength, not weakness. And that was, I would say, not even 10 years ago that was flipped, especially for men. You asking for help is a sign of weakness. You are not a man up. Right? So Stuart again is following up with many people have suffered so long. It's the norm. It becomes normalized in their life that this is. They don't even realize that they're in pain or in bad spots, right? So look you shit-faced Lee. We're having a serious conversation. You shit-faced. The favorite American in Coobs. You know what? You, Patty, Stuart, all of you kicking the back of the knee. Apologies in that. But thanks for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate it. Big up, Paul G. Good to see you again, mate. Big to see you. Andrew Gregory, women are much more likely to reach out for help than men. 100%, Andrew. Yeah. We know that. They're so good at having these conversations together and sitting down and doing their little kiddie parties, as I like to call them, and actually talking. Whereas us, you turn around and talk to a friend, a brother, and they'd look at you like, what's wrong with you? Man up. That was not the norm. But now I feel it's becoming the norm. It was taboo before it. Now it's not. And
women have these mysterious ways, though, don't they? That we don't understand, like reading instructions and things like that. It's
and sharing those things inside. What are they?
Boobies?
Feelings. No, inside.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we prefer when they share the outside stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Patty, you are getting there, but I was thinking, come on, so are you and I, but you're still Gimp. I hate you so much. I hate you so much. So much. And he's Greek like me, so I'm biased. Bite me. I know she's not talking about me. I don't think I'm Greek like her. Here's one to change the topic a little bit here, Coops. Rabiot has been linked to Spurs and Newcastle.
As he has been for the last 10 years.
5 years? Okay, 10.
Yeah, I'm not even entertaining this one.
Even if it's true, by chance, okay? No way in hell do I want this kid. For as gifted as he is, I don't see him as anything more than another Ndombele.
What's he now? He must be 30 or so by now.
Probably late 20s. I think he's 26, 27. I think he's coming into his prime.
He's
Because when we were linked to him,
surely.
before he went to Juventus, he was 21 or 22 when he went from PSG, right? I don't think he's more than 27 or 28. Are you checking it?
I reckon he's 30 or so. I'm just going to look it up, actually.
Yeah, please.
Oh, 29.
29, okay.
Oh, he's just coming up to... Oh, no, 28. Yeah, just coming up to 29.
Turning 29, okay. So, he's still got a couple of years left.
It doesn't fit the profile of what we're going for. We're getting younger players and looking to build a youthful team. I don't think this is somebody that fits. I think
he's got attitude problems, doesn't
he? He's another one of these players that promised the world and really didn't live up to the reputation of, as far as I'm concerned. You know, he's got talent without doubt. He's got technique, but I don't see some really game-changing signing there. Not for us.
Fair enough. Big up, Jim. Appreciate super chat from Jim here. Gents, it can happen to anyone. Believe me. Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
You know, for any of you that are listening, we were having a bit more serious chat in terms of our mental health, and even if you just feel like you're off a little bit and stuff, myself, Kuva, Brian, you know, all our information's accessible. Twitter, you can get our WhatsApp numbers, contact us directly. We're open books. Anytime you want to chat or anything like that, or if you just need to get something to vent, you know, you're always welcome to reach out to any of us. Ben saying that Lee would love Rabiot's mom. Rab has interesting. Inter Miami. I'm sure his mommy would like going in, you know. Shouty French woman. I personally, like I said, from what I've heard about the kid, he's got attitude problems. He's got issues with training. He's lazy. Right from the very beginning, when I heard about him, I personally didn't really want him. And now that we've gone through this whole Ndombele thing, I really think that we should, any kind of hint that this player might have some sort of an issue, I think we should just avoid it. And I don't think there's more than enough footballers out there that we don't need to spend 40 million euro on this kid. That's the quoted price as well. But speaking of spending money in a quality player, this one's a big one that I would love to see us pounce on. Kimmich is ready to leave Bayern, apparently 300K weekly wages. Do we pounce? You just got off of saying how great it would have been to have Rice, a true number 6, in that role. I see this guy as that guy. I see this guy could be our Rice. I absolutely I love Kimmich only because I've seen him play. You know, when Jay was watching, now Jay watches Bayern, of course, because of his love for a certain somebody. I'm not going to say who. And then my nephew's a Bayern fan, so we have watched quite a few Bayern games, and I've always been a fan of Kimmich. He's just a great player. And he seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same camp as the great Lothar Matthäus, the ex German captain and World Cup winner. And he said he's not convinced with Kimmich as a number 6. And I kind of see where he's coming from. I don't think that's his natural role. He's just a good player that can sort of fill other positions. What does make him interesting is he can do that position and fill the right back role when needed. He's a natural for both positions. That makes him interesting. Kind of like Philip Lahm was so good at playing multiple roles. So the versatility is good. Is he going to want with all due respect for us, taking the Spurs hat off,
Yeah.
Is he going to want to step down from Bayern to us? Because it is a step down. He's used to Champions League football, winning things constantly.
Not really, because they're when you look at Bayern and they're bringing in players from us.
Yeah,
they're starters. you got to question what's going on over there.
Then again, no, Dyer went there, so he knows he's got to get out of there quick.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll keep sending our service players there. You send your Bayern ones over here. I think it's a fair deal. Zubimendi for Kate. I know she was talking about this earlier. Absolutely no idea. Rakdos Madness? Rakdos? Well, first time I've seen your name in here. Cheers. Appreciate you joining us, mate. Kimmich doesn't want a Spurs move. I wouldn't be surprised. That's normally what the rumors they come out right away is this player either wants Spurs or they don't. Kimmich is the best right back in the world. No longer plays there. No, I thought he was playing out of the middle. Every time I've seen him lately, he's been out of the middle.
Yeah, he's the best right back in the world that isn't playing in that position anymore.
So basically, he's Trent.
Yeah. It's good comparison, really.
There you go. Where are we at? An hour and 6 minutes. We're doing pretty good here, Cooves. I had this one here as well. I don't know if you want to talk about this at all. Werner informs his representatives that he wants to stay as a Spurs. Actually, I don't know why I just said I don't know if you want to talk about this at all. No, I purposely put this in here because what you said earlier today on Kate's show was absolutely fantastic regarding Werner. For me, again, I'm going to wait to the end of the season to see if he's consistent. We all know how inconsistent he's been in this league, how poor he was for Chelsea, really. For 15 million, would he be a good bench option for us? Somebody to come off and threaten. You want to have a strong bench. We look at other teams, and that's the one thing we're very envious of. I would wait to the end of the season to make my decision. But he has said he wants to stay at Spurs. Kuv, please rehash everything you said earlier to the best of your abilities.
Rehash it. Okay, greatest of all time. We should sign him immediately. Oh no, that wasn't it, was it? No, I think I was more along the lines of I just think
that's
this
not
is
what you said, bro. That's not what you said.
This is basically what I consider a has-been. He was good about 4 years ago. He is not a good player. The only feature he has that's got any merit to it is he's incredibly quick. Now, incredibly quick rubbish is still rubbish. It just goes to mess it up, whatever it's doing up, at a faster rate. I don't think this is an improvement on the team whatsoever. The very fact we have fans saying he'd be a great squad player. So he's not to improve the first team. If we're not looking to improve the first team, I haven't got time for it. He's just not good enough. We've spent years trying to get rid of all the dross we've built up, all the deadwood, all these players that are fringe players we can't get rid of. Finally start shifting some, and immediately it's okay to start filling up with more mediocrity like him. No, I'm totally against it. He would have to turn on absolute miracles towards the end of the season to convince me otherwise. But I'm seeing a player that looks like he's greased up his boots sometimes when he tries to do things. It's like it's just skids off at 90-degree angles. I think he's a terrible player that occasionally comes up with something that gets on a statistic. He did do one good finish, to be fair, but with him, was that on purpose or was that just
it was meant to be a pass?
Random outputs, when it can go anywhere, eventually one time it's going to look really good, isn't it? I think we could do way better than that. If pace is the only thing that matters, this kind of, for me, is like the same reason I hated to see the likes of Sissoko getting bigged up. Because what was he? He was a very bland, average footballer that worked hard. Is that the level we want? Not for me. If we're looking to break top four, and for me personally, I want us to win the league. Absolutely want us to win the league. Is Timo Werner somebody that even as a squad player, you're going to say, oh yeah, he's going to take us over the line? No way. I would rather have academy players filling out the slots and back up for the first team, getting into the squad, getting some first team experience, and then cherry pick the players that really do make a difference to our first 11. Players like a Van der Ven, players like a James Maddison, players that get another Romero, get another Porro, get another Udogie, those sort of caliber players. Timo Werner, no chance.
I'm sorry, you didn't mention Mick either. I just want to say.
No.
Just
Fair.
Van de Ven.
I did say Van der Ven. I'm sure I did.
No, I was listening.
You just missed. You don't you dare.
How dare
Don't you dare. Yeah. Anyway. No, thank you. At the end of the day, I think we can do way better, and I think we could spend our money better.
Well, with Manur Solomon also returning from injury, we're going to have another winger sitting on the bench. We've got Brian Hill still sitting there as well. So we really need 3 bench players that are pretty much the same quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's on something ridiculous. It's like £170,000 a week.
When we're in the position we're in at the moment, our first team is not good enough to win the league. Nope. So any signing we make, as far as I'm concerned, should be to improve that first 11. And the players that were there get dropped to the bench, and any that were on the bench, sell them on. It's progressively improving your entire squad by constantly improving the first team. That's how you're going to get significantly better. If you go out with the intention of just signing a pure backup, you've done nothing to improve the first team. All you've got is somebody that's potentially going to be as good as what you already had. And that's if they haven't sort of lost their interest because they're not getting first team game time. I think you've got to have a realization that we can't keep signing journeyman footballers on the cheap and expect to go and win trophies. We've got to sign smartly. We've got to sign players that have either, for me, I think we've done the right thing with when we're signing these younger players now. Give them time to develop into the world-class players we need. We're not going to be going out and spending 150 million on a Neymar or something like that, hoping it changes everything. We've got to spend on the 3 or 4 younger players that can develop into the next ones, to develop into our next Bale, develop into our next Harry Kane. That'll be the sensible way of doing it. We see Brighton doing similar, and they're selling theirs on. I think we can do it at a higher level because we've got a bigger name. All due respect to Brighton, which isn't a lot of respect to be fair, but I think we can do better. We're Spurs. We have got world renown despite the lack of trophies in the last couple of decades. So that's what I want to see. Just constant and consistent improvement in the first team. We have not been seeing that for a long time.
Fair enough. Spurs GCTV is asking you, how would you feel about him if he scores the winner against Chelsea?
Same? I'd love him. I'd love him to bits for a day. It'd be the greatest ever.
Yeah. Oh, hands down.
Then the next day. Yeah.
Meh. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be fickle and flip flop as much as I like. That's
the way we roll around here, man. That's the way we roll. That's the Kuv and The Kang way, man. Flip and flop. Or do you want to be flop? I'd be flip. You be flop.
Flop sounds good.
Flippity and floppity. That could be
flop
the new
sounds
show.
Very sort of.
Hey. You want me to flop this out for you? Hey. Maybe I could flip it out for you. Okay, we're turning into Saturday Night Show. We got to be.
Yeah, we are.
If we don't sign at least one player who walks into our starting left center, we're never going anywhere. Pretty much what Kuva just said, Jason. Pretty much what he just said. Werner is still playing for Germany. Is he still playing for Germany? I don't know. Jay, is Werner still making German squad?
I don't know.
Please do. So big K's on the case there for you, Anthony, on that one. If yes, then we're missing something. 50 million is cheap for a class player, even just a squad or something. Yeah, you know what? The sad reality is that argument can be made too. What is 15 million nowadays? But you've kind of already answered that, Coos, by saying that you want to see the youth system step up. That rotation needs to start happening.
I agree. You can't. Yeah, I agree. You can't get anything for 15 million. But looking at Werner, I'd say you definitely can get nothing for 15 million. Because that's what I think he is. I really do. People are going to say that's harsh, but as I said earlier today, if any of our rivals had signed Werner, we would have been laughing at their desperation. If he went to Arsenal, just imagine that. We would have just said, oh, yeah, Werner, yeah, he was good 4 years ago. Oh, desperate. Arteta, don't know what you're doing. You're going to bottle it again. Just the sort of player for that.
But that's us as Spurs fans, right?
He's instantly become, 100% better than he was. It's just not. He's just a crap player.
I'm looking at this comment here from Jim saying Newcastle might have to sell Bruno Kamara, so I'd love to see us get him. I don't see why Newcastle would have to sell anybody unless it's an FFP thing. But I'm pretty sure from when the FFP numbers were released at the beginning of the year, they were second in terms of availability, space availability, in terms of purchasing power, just behind us. Not just behind us. I think there's a big gap, but not too sure how that works. Jim, can you let us know why they have to get rid of him? If you know anything about that, I'd sign Timo. So
maybe that's wishful thinking. Maybe I'd love Gilmar. Actually, he's a hell of a player, isn't he?
Yeah, well, him and there's a couple of players that they brought in right away that improved their team, and it's funny to look at them and think that they improved their team better before the big owners came in. Or did they buy Botman and Isaac and Gamara's under this regime?
Under this regime.
It was under this regime? Okay, sorry, my mistake then.
I thought they had
done that just before these guys came in.
They've done it in a very controlled way, which is actually lucky for them now, because otherwise they would have been in deep trouble with FFP. But the trouble is now they're handicapped because they can't go out spending big, because they will fall foul of the rules otherwise.
Yeah. Fair enough. Lee Smith saying you're not liking Turbo Timo.
No, I'm really
clearly not. Dragging these nuts is saying you can save that 50 and add to the budget and spend 40 or 50. Now I'm assuming you meant to put 40 to 50 for someone else. The 9's beside the 0. So yeah, I'm kind of at this point, because with what Dragon's saying here is it's what we've all screamed for as fans too. That why are we not pushing the boat out to the point where we're competitive? Doing £15 million deals for a player that might improve our bench is not going to take us to the next level. So, exactly. And Rakdu is saying, I agree with you, Kate. Sign Timo. Okay, so another Timo fan here. Jim saying, comes out tonight, said himself that his future's up in the air because of FFP. Oh, okay. He came out tonight and said it's himself, his future's up in the air because I thought they had room. Oh no, Mark Cook is also doubling down with that one, saying they are tight on FFP. Interesting. Yeah. Dare I say this is where you give Levy a bit of credit for doing what Levy does, because in a way now this is going to help us. But if he doesn't take advantage of this fantastic position we seem to be in compared to everybody else, burn the place to the ground.
Damn right. Turn it into a car park. Damn it. Let's get into that go-karting.
Rinketic is sitting here telling me we love Kuva, we love Kuva, we love Kuva, Kuva, we love you. And I don't even get a hello, so I'm going to take his comment down and I'm going to block him.
I think it's the best way to frame it.
Yeah, let me just. How do I block a?
Can we make that into a T-shirt for you? By the way, the conversation on Timo Werner. Anyway, yeah, you can point out that he scored a couple of goals and got a couple of assists, but that's avoiding the fact that he's missing sitters as well, and he's missing open goals from 2 yards too. Yeah. What about those? What if we had another player that was capable? We would have been scoring those goals. So you could look at the positives and say that's the only thing he's contributed that was positive. We can look at the overall player and see that he's not very talented. Even when he beats his man, what does he do with it? Regularly, it's hit and hope. It could just as well go into the floodlights or go into a defender and bobble into the net.
It baffles me that we've only got one player, it seems, on the team that can cross the ball early, and that's Porro.
Yeah, seems to be that way.
Honestly, think about our team. Who can send an early ball into the box for
the word early rolls out Kulusevski, doesn't it? He can deliver a ball, but he always has to cut inside and take his time. Yeah.
Oh, why'd you have to try to upset me when we're ending the show? Oh, don't talk about him and crossing the ball. Oh my God, I've seen Mourinho park less buses than the way I see that guy pull back and park. I'm so frustrated with that kid. Beyond, I'll have to bring up Rinketic's comment to make me feel better now. Yeah. Cheers, mate. When we bought him in Werner, I said we already have too many players who can't score in a brothel. Yeah. Sad reality, Jason. Didn't Bergwijn miss an open netter and people started to attack his socials? Yes. And we were actually talking about that earlier, Rinketic. we had the whole thing up regarding Richie coming out today and basically saying that he claimed that seeking psychological help saved his life. And then we went into how the social media aspect and technology itself aids in us as armchair quarterbacks, as people call them over here in North America, sitting here on our sofas watching the game and giving a full analysis of what they did wrong and how the manager got everything wrong and how the player got everything wrong. Just quickly, this one here, we got two more little things. A few minutes left here. We'll finish this up, I guess. Alphonso Davies.
What do you mean we got two more little things? You speak for yourself, mate.
I meant the kids. You got two little things.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not Saturday. You keep. I know what you're doing. Stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it.
Right.
Alphonso Davies. I only really wanted to bring this up because I absolutely adore this kid, Canadian boy, of course. Left back, left winger, can play striker. He plays pretty much everywhere for Canada. He's been at Bayern since Shay. When did he go over to Bayern? 15? Appreciate you.
I think it was 19.
19?
2019.
No, I thought 19 is when he went to the senior squad, but didn't they pick him up when he was young?
No.
Okay, you check that for me, big guy. But regardless, a phenomenal player, arguably one of the best left backs in the world, a position we do not need. But how great would it be to put him up on the left wing? And this kid is pace, power, shoot, cross. I don't think there's anything this kid can't do. And I think it would do him a world of good.
Yeah, 18-19.
He was 18-19, thank you.
18-19, like 2018, 2019.
So 6 years ago. Okay, 7 years. Okay, thank you.
He's kind of injury prone on his left.
He's injury prone too? Oh, that's not good. Everybody's injury prone nowadays. They're too soft. Our medical team doesn't help make that better. But I'd love to see this kid up on the left wing. If we could beat Bayern to a player, I think we could beat Real to a player. Do you have any really thoughts on this kid, or not going to happen? Hey, I love the way you're just trying not to laugh blatantly right in my face here. Thank you for that.
He's an incredible player and the dream of having him in the team. Yeah, fantastic. I love him. Even if it was in place of a doggy, who I love anyway. But he's just a great player. But
I would prefer him over Werner up front on the left wing.
Oh God, yeah.
Keep Udogie as left back.
I'll take Ryan Mason ahead of Timo Werner.
That's where you would start. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, he's just a great player. But the key bit in that sentence was interest from Real Madrid. That's a reason he'd want to leave Bayern. The idea of going to Spurs in his prime right now, don't quite see that happening somehow. Call me a bit pessimistic, but
maybe if Ange talks to him, he can convince him.
Nah, not happening.
Keep the faith. I'd love to see this kid in the Spurs jersey, though. I'll tell you that much. I'd like to do a bail with Alphonso Davies. Yeah, Rinketic, he actually does play. If you ever watch him for Canada, he plays more as a left winger and a striker for Canada than he does as a left back. I think if you looked at his stats, I don't know. I'm not a stats guy or anything, but if you were to look at where he's played or started in positions, I think it would be pretty balanced out. If he has 50 starts, it'd be probably 15 in 3 different positions and 5 somewhere else. This guy could just pretty much get anywhere. So fantastic. Gotta go, gents. Great show. Appreciate you, Jim. Have a great night. Say hi to Kate for us there, and watch your back when you're at the top of the stairs there, big guy. Stop being negative, Kuva. Big up, Jimbo. Yeah. Good night, everybody. Good night. Basuma must play more forward. Start behind him. Benny. Yeah, but when I've been 3 down. Yeah, you're right, Ellie. Unfortunately, we did need to do a lot more. Good night, Kate. Good night, Jim. Good night, everybody. And on that note, we just had this one last thing here. You want to quick answer?
Bad.
Why?
Well, I want to watch club football.
Okay, so from a personal level, it's bad.
I didn't make myself clear earlier. I have absolutely zero interest in international football.
Okay, but how do you really feel?
Probably less enthusiastic than I just said. I actually hate it now.
Okay, so your option is to watch international football or grass grow?
Grass grow.
It's nice grass, isn't it?
It is,
Fun.
yeah.
You see it with the
Yeah.
wind and everything, and the little
Nice, yeah.
sprouts
Yeah,
out nicely. You see life kind of
You can
coming up.
take your
right?
shoes and socks off, and
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I can't
Yeah,
wait.
yeah.
Few more months. We'll be there soon. I personally think it depends on when it is. Only as from the club perspective, of course, right now, we had an international break. The last one actually benefited us greatly because of the amount of injuries we had, the amount of players that we had, just kind of on splints coming back. So I think it's more of the timing, really, if it benefits you or not. But then we had that earlier one in the season. I think it was the first international break in the season when we were actually doing very well on a roll, and it couldn't have come at a worse time for us because it almost disjointed us a little bit when we came back. So it's flippity and floppity, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So international breaks, I mean, go and get more naps on the weekend.
Yeah.
We kind of don't care really, but Newcastle versus Spurs 3 days after PL is ass. Yes. That you guys were talking about this is absolutely insane that they're going to go all the way to Australia to play one game. I know Ben was talking about this and he was pissed and thought this was just absolutely moronic, and right at the end of the season too.
Well, there's an obvious reason for doing it, isn't it? It's cha-ching. It's just purely to get the fan base going in Australia.
But if you're trying to grow the fan base over there, what the hell is one 90-minute game going to do? At least stretch out 3 or 4.
Exactly.
Spend a couple of weeks there at least 3 games over a 2-week
period.
Pre-season
out there, do a tour of the whole region. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would make sense. But what do we know? What do we know? Speaking of which, you just reminded me of this joke. Little kid told me there. What do you call a Chinese billionaire?
I've heard this. Go on.
Cha-ching! I know, dad joke. It was funny the way he said it because you saw the little fro bounce around a little bit and everything. But that is it for us today, Kuvs. Anything else you want to drop by? Southgate is shocking. Southgate, if Southgate was shocking, I'd say there'd be improvement. He's so shit. Ben says you and me for England manager.
Hey, I'll do it.
There we go.
Do it.
We can do it.
It wouldn't be boring, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Might lose a lot, but
it wouldn't be boring. The press conferences would be interesting.
Actually, would we lose a lot? I think you just pick the great players and just say, get on with it, sort yourself out. If
Southgate could get this squad,
I think
we could do all right.
He has to coach them to be this level from where they would be, which is higher. I think he coaches them down in performance. I think if you just get all the talent we got available, throw them out on the pitch, just go, your positions, get on with it.
Get on with it, yeah.
I think we do all right.
Could you imagine the press conferences at the end?
Yeah, just express yourself.
Why do you think? So, Koobs, why do you think that Harry Kane was having a bad day today? And then we can address it together. So, well, clearly he went for a walk in Shake-a-Dicky Forest, Koobs, didn't he? Ended up on the wrong part of the forest, didn't he?
And you'd just be listening to all the little innuendos in the reporter, and you're,
Jesh. Rinketic, I am actually an Edmonton Oilers fan, buddy, so I do not support the Toronto Maple Leafs. One team that's run by a board that plays in blue and white and disappoints me on a consistent basis is enough. Thank you very much. Best things come in little packages, boys. I hope she's talking about the children because we do not have little packages. Thank you, Ellie. Stop spreading that rumor. But that's it for us for this week. That is ATF for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you didn't, please pretend you didn't hit the like button on the way out anyways. And anything else?
No, that's it. I think we're done. That's the whole world of football comprehensively dealt with.
Yes. Hopefully you got some education here today, people. Next time, bring your pen and paper and doodle while we talk. It'll keep you entertained at least.
So doodle while you're talking.
No, I said doodle, not diddle.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Oh, not an I. Well, thank you everybody else for joining us. Oh, wait, we got a whole bunch of comments came in here. LA Kings fan. Oh, okay. Cheers, Andrew. Good to see you, mate. LA Kings. Yeah, I got I can't show it to you, but I got a nice Wayne Gretzky photo. But yeah, that's it. We will catch you guys next time. We will be back on Easter weekend for Kuv and The Kang. And maybe we do this show next week on Thursday. We're not too sure yet. We'll see what happens in the world of football and if there's anything to chat about. Yeah, Goose?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right at that. Okay, well, until next time, thanks for joining us. And
Bye,
come
Leo.
on, you Spurs.
Bye, Leo.
Bye, Leo.